Moving on now, in the wake of a scathing report by the Department of Justice critical of the practices and policies of MPD, the city of Memphis has hired former federal judge Bernice to oversee a new police reform task force. Its 9 members will review the DOJ's recommendations and develop a reform plan for the police department. Joining us now to talk more about the mission of the task force is Judge Bernice. Judge, always good to see you. So glad to have you here at 3 p.m.
Wonderful to be here. So good to see you again.
My pleasure. You and I have known each other for a long time, and to say the least, for you to take on this responsibility, it really shows the community, I think, the importance of how dire this situation is to a certain degree of making sure it's done right. Why did you want to do this?
Alex, I wanted to do this job because I care so deeply about the community and the citizens and the servants who work in this place to make the city better, and because I have so much respect for this mayor who really wants to get it right and wants to really enhance the role of protecting and serving all citizens of the community.
So in the 2 years, Judge, since the tragic beating death of Tyree Nichols, how will you prepare for this process and for this role, you and your team?
We start by looking at the DOJ report, looking at the report as a framework. I know many are concerned that, well, the mayor did not enter into a consent decree. Mayor Young believes that there is not just a single way to get something done, and he is not the kind of mayor who believes he needs to have someone make him do what needs to be done. He wants to get a fresh look, find out what the issues are. If there are deficiencies in the department, then he wants to address those. But he also wants to acknowledge that there are many men and women who serve the police department in ways large and small, who go to work every day committed to the mission. And he doesn't want that to get lost in the process. So we'll be taking a fresh look at the report. We don't know who the Justice Department talked to, but we have a group of diverse citizens who will gather around, we'll look at the report. We'll also hear from the community and make certain that we have a transparent process. We'll bring on subject matter experts who will review and assess the department as it stands now, and also make recommendations as to how we get to the goal of having the most professional police department that serves all the citizens the most professional as possible.
I want to read part of the DOJ's report that it's found that MPD uses excessive force, conducts unlawful stops, searches, and arrests, and unlawfully discriminates against Black people and those with behavioral health disabilities. A lot of people, though, Judge, will say, how, though, do we make sure that your task force is independent?
Well, I will tell you that I took on this role as an independent person. My job, my life has been as a neutral, and I bring that neutrality and that judicial background to this process. The mayor is not telling me what to do. The police director is not, it will not influence what's done, and I will not work in a silo, but we will look at the department, its policies, the leadership, but we will also bring in people who have a policing background to assess what needs to be done and where the deficiencies are. And I want to just say, you know, the DO Justice report is much like I suppose an indictment. You know, the indictment sets out an allegation, but that allegation has to be proven, and we want to make certain that we don't know who the Justice Department talked to, and we're not saying that the Justice Department did not legitimately come to those conclusions, but we want to develop a set of procedures after an independent look to determine a way forward and get to the most professional department that we can get to, and also credit the work of men and women who come to work every day devoted to making this community safe and protecting all citizens.
You have me wondering also, Judge, about something else. With changes with the Department of Justice under a new administration, President Trump's administration, will that impact things one way or another from your perspective, or does this change the landscape?
It does not change the landscape because it doesn't undermine the mayor's commitment, nor does it undermine my commitment to do the job that inures to the benefit of all citizens. You know, I have spent my life committed to the law. And I became a judge early in my career, making certain that the law was applied fairly to people. Here, the mayor's commitment, made irrespective of who's in the White House, is a commitment that endures. And he has made it clear that he will not seek to interfere with the work we're doing to get at any root causes that may be there. But we also will not manufacture causes. We will look at the policies and the department and make recommendations along with those professionals to develop remedies for any violations that may exist.
One last thing before we completely run out of time. Will this be a 2-year process, 3-year process? Any idea yet?
We believe that it will not be, a 5 or 10-year process. We are gearing our efforts to trying to get this done as quickly as possible, so maybe 2 to 3 years.
Judge Bernice Donald, please stay in touch with us, and we'd like to hear more about it as this process goes on.
Thank you, sir.
Always good to see you. Thank you very much. All right.